Tekken has this interesting game mechanic that we call jailing. What this mechanic does is it forces your opponent into blocking the follow-ups of certain attack strings if the previous hit connected on block or hit. Now, that doesn't really sound like a good thing at first, but it typically happens with strings that have high follow-ups, which would be duckable otherwise. And thus, it's really useful at making these strings much safer. But there is a caveat, and in this video I want to show you how you can take advantage of the jailing mechanic when you are the one on the receiving end of being jailed and use it against your opponent. Let's use Azucena's down forward 1-4 as an example. It's an amazing mid-high string that's a 24 damage natural combo, safe on block, and it jails for the second hit to be force blocked. Down forward 1 by itself is -3 on block. Now typically, generic down forward 1s are -1 on block, and -3 is for down forward 1s with extensions. These are basically taxed for their extension threats. So I set her up to do either down forward 1 into down forward 1 or do down forward 1-4. Typically this would be a mix-up, and the reason why you would make her down forward 1 be -3. Now to exploit jailing, let's view it as mashing protection. Imagine you could stop your mashing attempts, but only for the specific cases in which your opponent actually finishes their strings. You see, it doesn't only force blocking, but it also eats your inputs at that time, and we are taking advantage of that. If you do, you can basically option select your defense for two different scenarios. Let's say Azucena does a single down forward 1, which is -3 on block. I would want to retaliate with my own down forward 1, because it would be uninterruptible. But if she does the second hit, she would be -7, and I would want to use something slightly slower, like a down forward 3 for example. So when she starts attacking, pay attention to my command history, and you will see that I can always get the best of the two options by just mashing down forward 1 as I block the first hit, and then go for down forward 3 once I see the second hit come out. If she does down forward 1 into down forward 1, my own down forward 1 will come out in between and beat her. And if she does down forward 1-4, my own down forward 1 input will not come through, and I can just do something else after I have blocked the second hit. It's risk-free mashing basically, because this mechanic is putting me into protective custody. This lets you always utilize your frame advantage when dealing with jailing strings like Azucena's down forward 1. Other examples would be Nina's down forward 1, although that one is only -1 on block. But you can still make sure to mash after blocking it to contest her offense without worrying about getting hit by the second hit. Another case when we can use being jailed to our advantage is when it comes to punishing certain attacks. For example, Yoshi's down back 3, his spinning manji kicks that can be extended with further spinning kicks. You would think you have to guess how many he does to get the punish. But that is not true, because this low actually jails as well. As soon as you block one of them, you are being jailed until he finishes with the low spinning kicks. That means you can immediately start mashing a punish, which are moves that are 13 frames or faster, to also interrupt the mid follow-up. And no matter how many spinning kicks your opponent does, you will always get the punish. One bonus tip against Yoshimitsu for characters that have a 13 frame or faster crouching counter hit tool like Azucena's while rising 1, is that you can use that as a punishing stat, and it doubles up as a counter hit launcher if they go for the mid follow-up kick. And once they stop going for the mid follow-up, you can start using a slower launcher to punish the spinning kicks, because they become launch punishable on block if they don't finish with the mid. So if you're playing one of these characters, make sure to fuck up the Yoshimitsu players. I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, please show some love and check out my other guides. Thanks.